I'm Nila, as he said. I work as a scientist at a university in Germany. So I lost almost 4 inches now, I think, in my waist. Yeah, I lost some weight on my chest as well. I think there I lost some 2.5 inches as well. So also along the hip. So that the inch loss was big because it was nice to see it on the tape, but also I think I felt it in my clothes as well. Why? One thing I didn't mention is I also have Hashimoto's, which is thyroiditis, and which means it's going to only get worse with time. It's like hypothyroidism, but it's an autoimmune disease, so it gets worse with age. And there's no cure for it. You just have to just make sure you have a good lifestyle and take your medication and somehow manage it. And I think thyroid is also something that issues are something that a lot of women have. And besides the medication, being fit and eating well is a very important part of it. I've wasted money joining the gym, trying to do things myself. I've joined a yoga program before. I've also tried to do another dieting program which focused just mostly on just my diet. So there has been a lot of up and down in my weight loss journey. Challenges became slightly different for me as I aged a little bit. I'm in my late 30s, and yeah, things like knee pain are not something you want to get. And when I started putting on weight in my waist, I also realized that I do not want to get diabetes. My parents and my entire family has diabetes, and that's a place I do not want to find myself in. I think my mother got diabetes quite early in her 50s, I think, or late 40s. And but when I came into the program, I came with some back pain and some persistent knee pain that had been there for a year. And it's not something you foresee. It's something that happens to parents. It doesn't happen to you, but yeah, it did. And I think that was the other thing that I started appreciating after taking the program. Yeah, I don't have knee pain anymore. There was the fitting better, but also just getting stronger, I think. And I realized that in the long run, that is probably more important.
Hey everyone, this is Pius, and today we have a very special guest in this video, Nila, all the way from Germany. Like she have been there in my program since like almost 4 months now, and we are basically recording this testimonial just to understand what were Nila's experience with the program, what have she achieved out of it. So yeah, let's get started. So how are you, Nila?
I'm good. Thank you, Pius. I guess I'll just start with telling people who I am. So I'm Nila, as he said. I work as a scientist at a university in Germany. Um, I, I joined the program in February earlier this month. It's been almost four months. Yeah.
So, Nila, first I would like to understand, what results have you achieved, in the last 4 months being a part of this program?
Well, the first goal was weight loss, which did happen. I think I lost some 6.5 kilos in this time since I joined the program. And I think one thing that I got quite religious with after joining the program was also measuring my waist size and inches, which I was not doing before. And I think that kind of helped taking photos ideally on a weekly basis, but even if you don't, now and then you have this record of how you looked when I started in February versus now. And I think the big dreadful thing that was happening to me was my waist was putting on weight, which was something that had started like recently post-pandemic, I think. So I lost almost 4 inches now, I think, in my waist. Yeah, I lost some weight on my chest as well. I think there I lost some 2.5 inches as well. So also along the hip. So that the inch loss was big because it was nice to see it on the tape, but also I think I felt it in my clothes as well while wearing. So yeah.
Correct.
Um,
So, Neela, one more question. When I speak with a lot of females, those who are looking to transform themselves, most of them, mostly focus on losing their weight. I mean, they want to see their numbers on the scale going down, right? But ultimately, what I, help them understand is, see, ultimately, if you see that your dress size is dropping, you are seeing inch loss from here and there. I mean, that's the main thing, which you can see visually. So what do you
yeah.
want to say about that? just to make people understand, especially females?
Yeah, no, that is, I think it's also a thing that comes with age. And then you realize that suddenly you're putting on weight in places you were not putting on weight before, like your waist, for example, or arms and so on. And yeah, and you kind of do get obsessed with that number. And then you are trying to see how whether that drops or not. So this has been, I think it's not that I have not done it. I think in all the, I mean, I think everybody in this day and age has experience with weight loss, has a lot of experience with dieting and trying different programs and so on. And I've done that too. And in the past, yes, I have done that where I've been obsessed a little with just looking at the number on the scale. But for the first time, I had put on so much weight that I was getting uncomfortable just in my clothes going out. I had put on a dress size, but just I think it's very motivating just to see that you're fitting into clothes that you were not fitting into before. So, in some sense, of course, you see a lot of transformation videos online, and you see people like they've lost 10 kilos or 12 kilos or something, and you're always just comparing yourself, thinking, oh, am I going to achieve the same? But yeah, I think this is more tangible in that sense, where you can just feel it and you don't have to keep obsessing about something else you're recording. And I think the other thing that I tended to focus on now was also just strength and loss of pain, I think. So, of course, weight is one thing, but when I came into the program, I came with some back pain and some persistent knee pain that had been there for a year. And, it's not something you foresee. It's something that happens to parents. It doesn't happen to you, but yeah, it did. And I think that was the other thing that I started appreciating after taking the program. I think yeah, I don't have knee pain anymore. So I think there was the fitting better, but also just getting stronger, I think. And I realized that in the long run, that is probably more important.
Correct. And as you said, like, just focusing on fat loss, weight loss is not something, of course, that is one of the goal, but other things that you have to take care, especially when you cross certain age, especially after 30s and in your 40s, you start feeling these knee pains and, other pains due to sedentary lifestyle and everything. And with that, the most important part is to focus on strength building as well. So you strengthen your muscles so that it supports your joints, right?
Yeah.
So you have mentioned that. Great. Okay, so the next thing is like, when we have started the program, as we have discussed your challenges on the call. So few of the challenges which I have, noted down, you mentioned about you had less time for cooking, knee pain, you have already said, then body is not responding to, you were trying intermittent fasting, okay, and then, you mentioned about that you don't want to get diabetes. Also, the work is getting affected. You want something more sustainable and you cannot do rigorous exercises. So, can you shed some light on these points as well, one by one?
Yeah, sure. So mostly I think I have the problem that most, I guess, people and professionals my age have, and it's also part of, I think, our lifestyle. Perhaps as Indians, you don't grow up with fitness as part of your life. And so that's one thing. We do tend to focus a lot on dieting, and but I mean, somewhere you know that fitness has to be there in your life, that you have to be strong, and then especially with seeing your aging parents, you immediately start thinking you don't want to get there. You don't want to be in their place. Um, so there was a thing of how to get started, and like a lot of people have done on and off things. So I've joined the gym, and like Pai said, I live in Germany, so things are a bit different here. You're a bit on your own. It's not easy to find a trainer, to get someone to guide you. So I've wasted money joining the gym, trying to do things myself. I've joined a yoga program before. I've also tried to do another dieting program which focused just mostly on just my diet. So there has been a lot of up and down in my weight loss journey. Um, but yeah, I think like Pius was saying, that challenges became slightly different for me as I aged a little bit. I'm in my late 30s, and yeah, things like knee pain are not something you want to get. And when I started putting on weight in my waist, I also realized that I do not want to get diabetes. My parents and my entire family has diabetes, and that's a place I do not want to find myself in. I think my mother got diabetes quite early in her 50s, I think, late 40s. And yeah, so I desperately wanted to be healthy, and then you see, like I said, you see all these transformation videos online and stuff, and you kind of want a bit of that for yourself, right? So you want to be fit and also have this transformation journey. Um, so yeah, like Pai said, so I realized I had to also change my food habits for the long run. I had to change my lifestyle, and everybody kind of knows that, right? It's क्या weight loss mat karo, lifestyle badlo is something everybody knows now, but it's the question is how to do it, right? And like I said, I've joined a dieting program before, and also, again, this is maybe different for people in India, but you were kind of on your own here. You have to cook and manage everything on your own. So it was not easy to eat bajra ka roti and, just very different things that are not part of your eating habits and general eating habits. So one thing that I've also changed in the program besides the working out is food. I uh, I learned to portion control. And the thing is, of course, that everybody thinks they are doing it. But in the beginning, I think there was a lot of good guidance on how exactly to do it. And I think it was good to have that to um, take it and implement it as a one-time thing, so there's an app, and then you guys tell us exactly how much to eat and how much calories it adds up to, and whether your macros are covered and so on. And that's calculation that I didn't want to do and didn't know how to do. But I think after, and the best part about that was that it was custom fit to foods I already eat. So there was, I think initially on the onboarding, there was a call about what do I eat generally. And just with those foods, meal plans were made kind of on a bi-weekly basis for me to just follow. And I think that really helped. So now I don't, yeah, I know how my plate should look kind of thing. And even if I do deviate, then over I come back to it in some time. And I think you also kind of adjust. And like I said, with intermittent fasting, that was the thing. I was mostly using it for, calorie control so that it would reduce my appetite. And that kind of worked for me for some time. But then I had hit a plateau with that. It was not working for me anymore. And yeah, and it was easier for me to binge on a lot of cake very soon with that. So it, yeah, I just knew that it was not sustainable. And it's not something you can do when you travel, or I don't know, go home or anything. So yeah, I've stopped fasting now, but just the portion control is working for me. Yeah.
Got it.
Did I
Okay.
miss anything? No.
No, no. So you have mentioned
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
Okay. So another thing which I want to ask is like so as you said that you have tried few programs in the past, what really you know differentiate this program from others? Because people do ask this question, like let's say there are a lot of program online. So
Yeah.
they have this thing in their mind that before joining we need to research, we need to see like which program will fit them. So what would you like to say about that?
Yeah, I think so. It's the same, right? I found out about you, Pius, from a friend, and it's the same thing. I also did do my research. Like I said, I've done programs before too, And I think something has to click. And I think in the first interview that you took, I really liked the points that you highlighted, and they were already like very much in my head at the time. I had I was not new to this. I was not new to dieting and or new to work getting fit, but I think I liked the structure that was offered. Mostly, also, firstly, in terms of why am I even doing this program? I think you had some very insightful questions about, why are you doing this? Why now? And what do you intend to achieve? And what will happen if you don't do this? Kind of questions. And I think they were also kind of a wake up call, right? Why do you need to do this so badly? So I think I was a bit like uh impressed and already, like on board with that interview, saying, okay, so if somebody is going to help me think like this about my fitness and get on this journey, then that is going to be useful. And yeah, it didn't disappoint at all. So once I joined the program, that exactly is what I got. So first thing was the portion control that I talked about. That was um, very useful. And like I said, I have previous dieting programs have done exactly that. And the problem is you're usually promised, oh no, it'll fit your lifestyle. Don't worry, we'll adapt. But then in the end, it does move on to saying a bit things, I don't know, probably with not enough scientific evidence that are there. Wake up in the morning, drink jeera water, drink that water, drink this water, then add these many seeds. And it's just something that's not sustainable. That's not something someone can do. And it's not even the kind of thing I was looking for. It's, I don't know, presuming there is some marginal benefit to something like that. It's not what I wanted. That was not the major challenge, right? It was mostly about having control over what I eat and my lifestyle, and also having a routine. That was very important. I struggled to stay consistent. So I needed some to be accountable to someone. I think in the beginning that really helped. I think we sent photos of food I ate and so on. And even now, actually, we do that again just to, right, keep on track. And it really helps. And although it has become a habit now, but it really helps to know that, okay, somebody is watching what you eat and making sure you're eating healthy. That was one. And you also got a lot of feedback, and I like that. And also it was there was Sobia at the time also, I think, and she the dietitian and nutritionist, and I had, I think, a lot of questions. Can I eat this? Can I eat that? And she was very patient, and she would say, okay, if you eat this, then this is how you can adjust your calories, or this is how you can compensate, how you can include it. And like she did the calorie counting for me in some sense. And I think that really helped. So I never felt like I couldn't eat something, and I think the best thing she told me was, I said, I'm struggling with cravings, and yeah, I did develop a weakness for cake during the pandemic. I kind of survived it, I think, because of that. And she just said, it's okay. Once in 3 days, you can eat a bit of cake. It's okay. And I think that was the best thing to hear for me. And the other cool thing that happened was I'm a vegetarian, so I don't have much I guess, protein intake like a meat eater would. And so one habit that has now become part of my life was eating 2 eggs every day. And like she promised, yeah, eating that protein did help reduce my cravings. So that has also now become a part of my life. So yes, I have more control over my cravings because of that. And also I eat um, 3 meals a day instead of fasting. And I think that helps me also not crave too much. And yeah, that is one thing. Then that's with the diet. So even now, yes, I send photos to Pius every day about what I eat. And sometimes it just helps to, know that somebody is going to see what you eat. So you better not eat this thing, even if you do have a craving. That's one. Then I think, like I said, the other thing I wanted was routine at my fitness, so I can make that also part of my lifestyle. And that I was really struggling with. And even now, I would say I'm not reached where I want to be because I'm very dependent on Pius in the sense that it's 3 days a week and where we meet, and I make sure I do that. But yes, that is my routine in the sense that I make sure I come for those 3 days to the fitness programs. So in that sense, I do have a routine. At some point, I hope I can take flight and keep this routine myself. But for now, I'm just happy to, um, yeah, at least use PICE as a springboard to to build my routine. I think the other thing that I really liked in the program was how slowly it started. I think the first month was um, so nice for beginners. So there were these bunch of videos also, and there are a lot of instructions about how if you were just starting on trying to get fit again, how to not hurt yourself and how to slowly start. And I think usually what happens or what has happened with me before is that for example, if I would decide I want to, I don't know, go running, make running my habit or something, and I used to have that at some point in life, and then it stopped. But so for that, what I would do is I would, start full on the first day or even do run jogging, but it would just be so hard, the intensity, that it would be demotivating and I wouldn't be able to keep it up beyond 1 week. But I think something about the very low intensity with which this starts, you feel like you can do this. And then that itself was motivating to just keep on. So I think I really like that. And actually, Pius encourages you not to overdo it because you're going to hurt. And I think that was brilliant that that happened. And yeah, before uh, like Pai said, I had these also, I think, juvenile ambitions in some sense. Like I wanted to do push-ups, and because push-up was like, you know, uh, something I could not conquer. It was like my Everest kind of thing. And yeah, I think I'm not too bad at it now. So I can do around 20 push-ups, I think. Last time that's what we did. Still need push-ups, but it's still a big improvement over from where I started. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention was the big focus on warm-ups and stretching. I think that is something that everybody tells you, कि कर लो, but then you don't know how to do it right and you don't focus on that. I think at least in the beginning, just especially in the videos that Payesh shares, where do them on your own on the days that you're not meeting him. Yeah, like 1/3 of the instruction was warm up, 1/3 was exercise, 1/3 was stretching. And I think that was very cool because I've not really struggled with pain. It's never happened that I've had sore muscles or had too much DOMS and I couldn't do anything. And I think, yeah, that is also something that I learned. So that was also cool because, like I said, I've done workouts before, and that was something that you're just left on your own to do, and then you don't do it properly, and then yeah, I'd have to take the morning off and sleep it off or something. But this one was nice that way.
What would you like to say to the viewers who are actually watching this video? I mean, most people have um, this objection of, they should whether, join a program, do this on their own. Maybe sometimes they are skeptical about the program, whether it will work for them or not. Um, yeah, because they do have to invest in themselves, right? So you also mentioned that, I'm investing in myself, and that's a big investment initially when we
Yeah.
had this discussion.
Mhm.
So yeah, how would you like to, answer that?
Yeah, no, it's something I think you just have to kind of bite the bullet and do, right? Because I think the older you get, you also kind of become a bit responsible for your parents, and you just realize how much is being spent on medication and just for them to just be okay, when we're not talking about major illnesses. And diabetes is a scourge that I think most Indians have to deal with. And I for one, would like to, I think, not have that in my life, and I'm sure most people would not, right? So, in terms of, I look at it, at least I looked at it as either I can do this now to make sure that I am just trying to be healthy for later in life. And I think one thing I didn't mention is I also have Hashimoto's, which is thyroiditis, and which means it's going to only get worse with time. It's a thyroid disease where it's like hypothyroidism, but it's an autoimmune disease, so it gets worse with age. And there's no cure for it. You just have to just make sure you have a good lifestyle and take your medication and somehow manage it. And I think thyroid is also something that issues are something that a lot of women have. And besides the medication, being fit and eating well is a very important part of it because, yeah, there is no cure as such. So it's mostly just managing the condition. So given that that is the case, and for most of the illnesses that we're looking at for later in life, we have to just eat well and be fit. It seems like a no-brainer, right? You have to just start now and you have to just do it. And when my pain started, like my knee pain started, my back pain started, I realized that I felt a bit like I was probably already too late, that this is a habit I should have now, and I should have good mobility, good flexibility, and just be fit, have stronger muscles. So yeah, I joined in a state of panic that I need to do this now, or else it's going to just get harder later. So yeah, so I would say people should do that. And in terms of, yeah, just that is in terms of why you should probably do a fitness program at all in the first place. Of course, like everyone, I also had the hang up. Everybody does want to do it on their own. You have that weird sense of, I don't know, maybe it's pride, I don't know, where you want to maybe prove to yourself that this is something that you should do by yourself. I and I think that is why we all go through cycles of dieting and that and this on our own, and we read a lot online and try to do it, which is not bad, of course, if someone knows what to do and if they're able to do it, great. But given how much information there is out there and how overloaded we are, I think sometimes it helps to just leave that to an expert to tell you exactly what to do. And there are times when I've hurt myself before doing an exercise. So, for example, we had weights at home, and I was doing them, and very quickly, without thinking, I went from 3 kilos to 5 kilos, and I just did my, I think, bicep curls one day or something, and yeah, I was left with shoulder pain for a week after that. So I think listening to Pius and listening to his instructions carefully really helped me not get an injury or anything like that throughout here. And if anything, yeah, my pains have reduced. So I think that way it does help to just leave it to someone who knows, especially the fitness part of it, to know what to do. That is one thing. And like I said before, why this program? For me, the structure really helped. And when I say structure, it's overall. Also, just the dieting and how you have somebody who you're accountable to and who takes care. And there are also these weekly check-ins and so on, bi-weekly check-ins where, if you haven't shown up, people Pius asks you what's happened and have you done your workouts and so on. That helped. The other thing, actually, interestingly, that helped that I didn't think was there are other people in the program. And it was nice to see that there are so many people on this boat, and then you like the Zoom workouts happen with other people sometimes, and depending on who shows up. So that also helped. It felt like you're part of all these people who are trying to get fitter and healthier. That was one thing, but also during the workouts, I think uh, I think Pius is special in that because I don't know if I should say this, but there was one day when you had a guest trainer who didn't really work out for us. But Pius is great with hand holding you through the workout, which kind of really I depend on, which helps. And if you think about it, he's just counting and whatever, but there's just so much useful feedback that comes with, because even though you're in a group, sometimes you see what the other, what I am doing wrong, for example, and you give me feedback. And for example, with the push-ups, you corrected my form, and that's helped me do push-ups better, and so on. So I think that training is something that I don't know, is not something I have been able to get in other places, and I think I need that. So if people are looking to I don't know, have a structured program so that they can build their own routine based on that afterward, then I think they should go for it. And like in terms of, yeah, it is an investment, but I sometimes, what helps me is I think of how much I spent on, I don't know, eating out sometimes, or a trip or something, and then I just think this is costing as much as, I don't know, 2 trips you took in a year, or something like that. And yeah, if that's all it costs for me to try to be healthier and have something, get to know what to do, and also try to have a routine for the rest of my life, it seemed like that's something, yeah, I could do, absolutely do. Yeah. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. Great. So, yeah, Nila, I think we have covered all the pointers, your main challenges and what you have achieved out of this program. And as we are already on the next phase of the program where you are continuing with it, with reaching your final goal. So what's your next step? Like, first, as we have discussed earlier, your goal was to lose around 6 kgs, which you have already achieved, and along with that you have lost around 4 inches around your waist. That's again a good thing. And of course the knee pain and all is now improved. What's your next goal? What you are looking to achieve in the next 3 months again?
So as much as my clothes have fit me better now, I still would like to go down the dress size I wanted to be. I went to an L, and even now, sure, it's things have become looser with an L, but I'm still not an M. So I would like to achieve that, I think. And like all people, huh, I also have vanities, like, I need my arms to look slimmer, or and there's no pretenses about that. Everybody wants to look good. So yeah, there are the clothes I would like to fit into better. And I think I also have some fitness goals, in the sense that I have, of course, come a long way. Like I said, my knee pain is not there anymore, but it's quite motivating to see how fit you can get. I didn't expect to be able to do what I'm able to do now. So, like I said, yes. So we do, yeah, I can do 20 push-ups now with knee push-ups now. Maybe I'd like to move on to full body push-ups at some point, and that's something I want to be able to do. The other thing, like I said, that I'm still dependent on Pius for, but I would like to be independent going forward at some point, is to just have a fitness routine. Of course, there are a lot of things that I know now and can do if I want to, but yes, I think making fitness part of my life is something that I would, yeah, like to do better, I think. In terms of what I eat, I think I'm okay, actually. I don't think I have any special goals for what I want to achieve next. But yeah, mostly this. And yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Great. All right. So, thank you so much, Nila. I mean, this was it. As I've said, like, we have covered all the points, all the questions, and maybe, someone who is watching the video right now, maybe on the verge of, taking action, that would
Yeah.
really benefit from this interview, that, you have to get started somehow, because the more you think, the more you are going to procrastinate, and you just keep on thinking about kal se karenge, and then that day
Yeah.
never comes,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I have got from this interview, that you have to get started somehow, just get into the boat and just push
Absolutely.
yourself. That's the only thing which can help you to get results. And you are, I would say, like, you are one of my, clients who have been on this journey. And not only that, you have been consistent. Like in between, there were some hiccups. Of course, you have your work to do. You get busy sometimes, but you were actually consistent throughout the program, and that has actually shown up the results. Because what I really see is there are, people do, join the program, and then they get busy somewhere, and then they think like, एक हफ्ता already हो गया है, let's, you know,
Yeah.
अगले हफ्ते से अगले हफ्ते, and they keep on delaying the process. What people do not understand is, like, let's say even if you have not done your routine for at least a week, and if you get started again, it will take just few days to come back to that routine, and you get going, you stay consistent with the process, because consistency is the key. Like whatever you do in your life, if you are staying consistent with it, you are going to get results anyhow.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for,
I
yeah.
just like to say that, like you say, of course, that is the goal, to be consistent, but it never felt like so much effort. I think that's what I was trying to say, that even when it started, something about the program, it never feels like you have to try too hard. And like, I took a month off in the middle,
Hmm.
and the only thing you have to do is, even if you're not doing all the things on your own, is show up for one of the many Zoom calls, right? And once you do that, you can just get kicked off from there. And so, yeah, in that sense, I like that too, that it was not so hard to be consistent. It's very surprising for me to hear you say that, because in my head, I'm thinking, or karna chahiye tha. I should have done better. There were times when I had work and stuff and I couldn't make it. And I would think I would look at the Zoom recording and do it later, and I didn't. And there's a lot of guilt about that. But yeah, I'm surprised to hear you say that. But I guess that's what's true, right? Even if you miss a week, you need to come back. As long as you come back the next week, just join the next week's call. I think it was quite easy to do because of the call. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's it for today. And if there is someone who is, who wants to join the program, and if you're looking for, some help in getting to your goals, you can just look after a link, which I'll be leaving maybe in the description or in the comment section. And, if you're looking to join the program, we can get on the call. Let me get to understand your goals, what you're looking to achieve. And then if we feel that we are the right fit, we can move ahead with the program and get started. All right. And thank you so much, Nila, for,
Thank you,
taking
Paris.
out the time to come on this call, because you have already told that, most of the days you are busy in meetings, and, you have a lot of work to do personally and professionally both. But thank you so much for taking out this half an hour and, uh,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
giving this testimonial. All right. Great.
Thank
That's it, guys. And I'll be seeing you with another client review maybe sooner or later this week. Let's see who is what's the next transformation we can get in this program. Yeah, so that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video.